Welcome to B2B with Randy and Craig, where we discuss the rise, the falls,
and the kick
Nope.
in the...
Come on, man. It's Sunday morning.
One of these
People are
times, I'm
just
kinda
getting up. We're not talking that way.
Fine.
We're here to talk business. And we have with us Mark Grossman from claimhelpme.com. Welcome, Mark.
Thank you very much.
First thing I got to ask you, why claims? Tell us about it. How'd you fall into that?
After being a contractor for 35 years, I got into fire and water restoration.
A general contractor?
Actually, I was doing it for myself. I was working for buddies. They'd hire me for $135 a day. Imagine that, an entire day.
Well, he's going way back in time.
Yeah.
Okay.
Way back in time. We won't talk that far back.
Don't jump into the DeLorean.
Well,
minimum wage for street 30 an hour.
in college, I was only getting $6 an hour.
Let's not talk about that. It makes me very sad. And then it reminds me how bald I am. So anyway, let's go
I
back
ended
to
up getting a phone call saying, you want to be a project manager. We're looking for somebody. And it was in fire and water restoration. I never even heard about it. It's insurance. I started out, and my first couple of years, I was doing about 135 projects a year because they're small.
working for somebody.
Working for a company as a project manager. And then I slowly worked my way up as a project manager. And I also am able to do everything before then. I'm full-blown electrical, full-blown plumbing, full-blown siding, roofing, all of it, everything underneath the sun. And I screwed it up.
So, but before you hear you screwed up, we love that you screwed it up because you can't accomplish if you haven't made a
You got to
mistake.
fail forward.
Right.
Definitely
It's all good.
failed a lot.
But I'm going to say that your experience as a contractor must give you incredible insight into what you're doing today.
Absolutely. I'm able to justify the numbers, and that actually is the reason why I produced this book. But first...
But we're not going to talk about the book. You're jumping all over the place.
Right.
We'll get to the book in a minute.
Right.
Give us an idea of exactly what you do so the average homeowner understands. I come home one day and my basement's flooded.
Right. First, you're going to call a mitigation company.
Yeah.
And when you end up calling that mitigation company, they're going to come out and do an inspection.
So I can call any mitigation company
That's your choice.
without calling my insurance company. I
Yes.
come home and there's a whatever going on.
Yes.
Got it. Okay.
You want to get an opinion
Right.
on what you're dealing with. You call a mitigation company, they come in and inspect. And it's up to you whether or not, let's just go back to before any of what it used to be, which is the contractor would say, yeah, you know what, you might want to file a claim. Regardless of that, they come in, they rip everything out, they document everything. It was also someone who actually held one of those vacuums and sucked the garbage out.
Right.
And
So you
the
were on
sewage-
you were on that side.
Every single side. I'm certified in it through the IICRC. And then from there, I would come in and do project managing. But then I wanted to know how I became a project manager, how it came to me. How did that estimate get to me? That is where I am gold.
That's what you want
Yes,
to know.
I want to know. I already know project managing. I was superior at it. I went to senior project manager. Now I want to know about estimating. How the heck does this all happen?
Right.
So I started learning estimating. And I learned it so much that I did become a senior estimator. But the thing is, what separates me is that I can actually read someone's estimate and I know whether they're green, whether they're missing something, whether they wrote it properly.
Because you're a contractor.
Because
gonna
all the things are missing.
Right.
What gives you the most satisfaction about your job?
Well, look, can I just piggyback
Sure,
on that?
sure.
You're an independent adjuster versus
I'm a public adjuster.
you're a public adjuster. So that before you say so, what happens is the mitigation company comes in, you call up your insurance company, and they say, we're going to give you X amount for that. He's private, and he kind of works between you and the insurance company to say, that dollar amount's not enough because I'm seeing this. Am I describing it right?
You're describing it right, but this is before I became a public adjuster.
Right.
There was a reason why I became a public adjuster.
So what's that?
And after I'm learning how to estimate, I'm now on the phone with the actual adjuster explaining and justifying my numbers.
He's educating them.
Okay, and I'm telling them why this costs X, Y, Z, and their contractor is actually on the phone too. And now I'm actually bringing up the reasons why it costs that, and they're saying, well, no, we can do it for less.
So you're talking to, you got the contractor, you have the insurance claim sitting there. I'm asking you. And then you're there in the middle saying,
Yes. I'm saying,
middleman.
I am saying to them, you're wrong. This is what needs to be done. And let me justify the reasons behind it. And Then if I accidentally brought up something about make them whole or that's not enough coverage, the first response would be, stop acting like an adjuster. Are you acting like an adjuster? You're trying to scare me. Well, I have to shut up because I'm not allowed to do that. It's like giving me lawyer information. You can't start acting, giving law information or law advice when you're not a lawyer. I wasn't an adjuster.
Right.
So you know what? I had enough of it. I became a public adjuster in New York and Florida just because I want to be able to tell an adjuster, don't tell me what they can.
I am an
and can't
adjuster.
do. So now you can't do that anymore.
So that answers your question then, right? That's what gives him the most satisfaction to be the truth serum.
Yeah,
the truth
right.
serum.
Right. So here's the caveat on that. When before I became a public adjuster, they could never argue this. Actually, that's why I became a public adjuster. I'm kind of backing up just a little bit, but it would come down to I can do it for less. The other contractor. Oh, really? Okay. So let me ask the adjuster something who's on the phone. Are you invoking your right to repair? No, now you're acting like an adjuster. Well, if you're actually telling me that this contractor can do it for this amount, which I'm telling you no contractor can, they'll lose their company over it. That means you're invoking your right to repair, which I discuss on how to get around that caveat.
So
that idea.
For my own lack of experience, if the insurance company gives you X and the contractor comes in at Y and those numbers don't align, the homeowner is responsible for what's in the middle.
Yes.
Without an adjuster involved. But your job is to fight that middle ground.
My job is to fight that middle, but as a public adjuster, that's what I'll do. But I can do that no matter what, because as a contractor, I can actually argue and get it. And if you don't, we will go to appraisal. I will get awarded, and I will tell homeowners what they're going to do and what we're going to do to enforce that. And I can tell you that every single adjuster will cave. I speak with conviction on that. They will cave.
Got it.
Without having to go to appraisal. Because once you go to appraisal, that's your last ditch effort before litigation.
So you have experience that you can share, plus, which is important because you're not just a numbers guy. You're coming back saying, hey, I know what it takes to do this job. I have the experience, right?
Right. Not to bash. I'm not bashing my colleagues out there, other public adjusters, but the majority of them are paper pushers. No offense to them, but that's what they are. They rely on their contractor and their estimator, and that's how they get to it. But the public adjuster is actually going to say, well, it's just a number, and then we'll just meet in the middle. No, it's not just a number. That means you're not speaking with a real public adjuster. It's not. It's justified. You will get what you're owed. Otherwise, you're not doing your job. You're just a paper pusher.
So there had to be something in this puzzle to give you a sense of accomplishment for you to make that jump, because it sounds like it's a lot of aggravation.
Well, it was aggravation because I actually know how to reduce the insurance carrier's claim spending by a third, if not by half. I wrote 3 years ago 10 letters to the top insurance company, and that includes State Farm, Allstate, the ones that you hear on the news or in the hearings. And it went on deaf ears. Okay, so I took all this information and I started putting it on our website because I'm going to give this information to the homeowners. I'm going to tell you what I know so you don't have to hire that public adjuster.
For free. That's all there.
Well, no, they're going to pay for it, but for a small price, because I literally am saving you tens of thousands of dollars. You have a $100,000 loss, you're right. Or look, a real fire. Real fire is about $500,000. Well, you're going to spend $50,000 for a public adjuster. Then you're going to spend probably $20,000 to $30,000 on that public adjuster for contents. Then not to say what the mitigation and let's just say asbestos, and they're taking a percentage on that. Then on top of that, these other public adjusters, there are a lot of them. They're also getting paid an additional 10% on the back end from contractors, and now they're strong arming contractors.
So what you're trying to do is add transparency.
Oh, 100%.
Correct.
To this.
Because I don't take advantage of the insurance company, and I don't take advantage of the homeowner, and vice versa. I'm not out for a homeowner making profit. I'm not for that, but I will get you what you're owed legitimately. And legitimately, I mean you will have enough money to do your repairs of what you're owed. It's not going to be exploited and so on and so forth.
Right. So now you've been doing this for how long?
I have been doing construction since I was 15, 35 years. I've been doing fire and water restoration a little over 25 years.
So now I'm going to assume that you said at the beginning that you've made lots of mistakes.
Lots of mistakes.
What's one mistake that had to happen in order for you to make it to where you are right now?
Someone's boiler had a flood.
I can tell you one mistake that was funny. It was a $10,000 mistake.
Okay.
It was more of miscommunication. It said on a fire, match all the existing windows. Well, all the windows in the house, I thought were terracotta, and because there was only one window left in the house that wasn't burnt, and it was terracotta. I ordered all the windows, about $10,000. That happened to be the one window they replaced. And it was terracotta. The rest of them were white. And my boss looked at me and said that I bet you won't make that mistake again.
Yeah.
And he was very
was
good.
correct.
Yes.
Yeah,
He was
yeah.
a very good mentor. And it wasn't until probably, I'm going to say 10 years ago, 15 years ago, no, about 10 years ago. It's about 40. And I honestly said, with all the information I know nothing.
Right.
He actually said to me, now you got it. Now you understand insurance. Now you understand how it all works.
So you understand it so well that I see that you wrote a book, Filing an Insurance Claim. Don't get taken advantage of. Right? You wrote
Correct.
this book.
So all that information I was telling you I put on our website, it was enough information that why not make a guide for people to actually follow so it's something tangible. And it also gives validity to know that I'm not BSing. It is something that's going to give the website validity. That's the reason why I did it. And everything in there is 100% factual. And it is backed by 4,000 claims that I have done. And also, I probably would say when you duplicate an estimate, if you count that duplicating an estimate, I have hundreds of thousands of estimates.
Would you say that every homeowner should read this book, regardless if you had an issue or not? This is probably a good Bible, so that you have information in your head that when you're faced with a dilemma, you kind of have the roadmap in your mind.
To be honest with you, this is going to be really putting myself out there and arrogant, but you have a fire extinguisher in your house?
Then this should be.
Do you ever use it? Do you hope not? Do you
I
hope
hope
to
I
God?
never have to.
Do you hope to God
Bro,
you
you're
have
speaking
it?
my language. Are you kidding me? This is like I'm an egress guy. You know that.
Okay,
So this is,
so you hope to God that you have
Right.
it before it happens. That is what this gives you peace of mind. Tells you what to do, because when you're standing outside and in your underwear, your kids are crying, you're watching your house burn to the ground, and the fire trucks are still there. Some knucklehead comes over to you with a clipboard and said, "Sign here. I'll make sure that you're going to get what you're owed." I'm telling you, you don't do that. That's
No,
the worst
the
time.
word, yeah.
This prepares you for that.
love it. So this is just every homeowner should buy this book.
That's correct.
You got to be prepared, because when you're in that mode, like you just described, a horrific situation in front of your house is burning down. You can't think straight.
That's to the extreme, but when you end up going to the less extreme, first off, I don't think anyone should make a claim that's under $20,000 because of what the insurance company is going to do to your rates.
Right, you're right.
But when you do make a claim, this will guide you on a small. There's a perfect example in there of a wife cooking. All of a sudden, she hears water dripping downstairs. The supply line breaks. It tells you step by step what to do, what's going to happen, and how to proceed. What decisions you should make.
That's so important. That's so
Should
important.
I even file a claim?
Right.
Right.
It's so important. You think because you have insurance, I should file a claim every time?
Absolutely not. Never do that.
Yeah,
Never do that. You're going to be
100% right.
on clue for
So,
7 years.
if you're just tuning in to B2B with Randy and Craig on WBAB 102.3, Apple, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts, we are sitting with Mark Grossman from Claim Help Me Now. Now,
ClaimHelpMe.com.
you play. Oh, right. ClaimHelpMe.com. Now,
You got too excited.
I
You
did.
got too
I was like, I was at the end.
That's what happened.
It does need to be helped now.
Yes, I definitely need the help. So, if I like to ask a $1 million question, and this
Sometimes
week,
they're 50 cent
sometimes they're 50 cents.
Okay.
But the social media in this day and age has become so vital in this day and age of business. How are you taking advantage of that?
I started out putting out fear-mongering videos, and that's not really what you need. What people need is my face, hearing my conviction, hearing my experience, and actually showing people that I'm a human too. When I was in the Navy, we had a protocol, safety. Every single thing was planned. what you did here if something happens, or or what you did to prevent it from happening. It's a protocol.
Right.
So this right here is a guide, a protocol for what people to do before a claim happens or after a claim happens. But it should not be purchased or thought about when you do have a claim, because you're already going to be talked out of it. You're already going to be pushed in one direction. You have contractors. There's so many of them that are restoration contractors out there now. They're not certified. You don't know it, and you're relying on these experts.
Right.
And they're telling you to file a claim, but they don't know the repercussions of filing that claim. It's going to be linked and logged to you for the next 7 years. Your rates are going to go up. Your possible denial, especially in today's world with insurance rates and reinsurance, because people don't really understand, why does insurance cost so much? Well, it's my broker, it's my agent. They're making so much money. No, they're not. So let's just take a normal policy. I'm just going to give a round number scenario, $3,000. Of that $3,000, maybe $300 goes to the actual agent. Then another $700 actually goes to your insurance company. The actual other $2,000
is going
to reinsurance.
Right.
So because I'm telling you, I'm going to be able to insure your home. I can sit here and talk about the corruption that there is with the large companies back and forth, but regardless, I think I just lost my train of thought.
No, let's. Yeah, we don't want to be mudslingers. We just
no, I don't want to do that.
No, they do. Your job is to protect the consumer, the homeowner, to ensure that they're getting the most they can from a claim, and in some cases, talking them out of even making a claim to protect long term.
Correct. And more importantly, what a lot of this guide focuses on, what my actual website focuses on, is, I'm sorry, guys out there, public adjusters, don't hire one. Don't hire a public adjuster until you do your vetting and know what that person's capability and what their references are, because they're going to disappear at night. They're the ones lined up right outside.
Gone. And they're not the one, right, I understand.
Of the fire trucks, and they've got scanners, and they're there to prey on your weakness. You don't need a public adjuster. You can do everything off of this, and if you don't, well, then you know what? Give me an email, and I'll tell you what to do for free.
What's your website?
It's claimhelpme.com.
And what's the best phone number to reach you at?
516-807-6091.
So I can call you as a homeowner to talk to you about my situation, not necessarily even hire you. I mean, that would be the goal, but you also will be...
I would rather not be hired. I'd rather give you the advice and tell you what you should or shouldn't do. I'm not going to tell you words that is going to commit fraud, but what I am going to do is tell you that when you have sewage coming back into your house, do not use the word back up, because you just capped yourself.
Right.
Don't use the word leak, because you already opened a claim and denied yourself at the same time, because leak means what? Ongoing.
That's interesting. That's interesting. Question for you. This might be a dopey question. Is there a book that, and don't say your own book. That's why I said it's dopey. Is there a book that inspired you, that has helped you on your entrepreneurial journey?
No.
So you're all self-taught,
No, I like more of the challenge. I got my Series 7 only because I found out it was the third hardest test in the United States. I just wanted to see I could pass it.
Well, you're an ex Vietnam. You're a Navy vet.
Yes.
Well, first of all, thank you for that. And I'm sure that serving for the country has taught you incredible skills that you still use today in your business.
That's the protocol. Be prepared. I have a family. I have a kid. Gonna hopefully have another one. Not on the way yet, but hopefully soon. I want to protect families, because I'm there at the worst moment in these people's lives. They just lost everything, and honestly, the worst ones are when the pets don't make it, or someone doesn't make it in the house. But pets are very terrible.
People always, look, you could be in a movie theater. You know what happens? If the horse dies, everybody's like, nobody cares about the guy.
Yeah, I'm not trying to be morbid, but these are very scary moments and stressful points in people's lives, and that goes right out the window when a claim happens, and they're going to listen to the first person.
I tell people all the time with egress. I tell them, when you say, "Oh my God, Dot's in the house," the first thing the fire is going to ask you is, how many legs does Dot have? Oh, Dot has 4 legs. We're not going back for Dot.
No.
You know, they're just not doing it. So you got to understand that you got to be prepared for that because they're not going to risk their life to save a pet.
No.
I get that.
Understood.
So let me ask you. I'm so sorry. I just want to ask you a question. Do you have a scaling strategy?
What do you mean by that?
So to grow this business, because you're not only a business, you're a plethora of information.
As right now, I'm writing for contractors who don't use their estimators anymore, or they just rely on me because they know I can write for them. They submit it, and it's pretty much going to get pushed right
So
through.
you're an independent like that. You'll.
I write for contractors that are doing fire and water damage because you actually have to know the lingo. And there's another program out there, I think it's Symbility, that actually is designed to actually lower it down a little bit. But if it's used right, it also too will get the homeowners the
That's
proper amount
interesting.
of money. But what program they use is going to determine how much money you get. And we keep talking about money. It's not money, it's scope. When you reduce scope, you're reducing money. So it's always scope that is what you want to be arguing and what you want to be talking about. So adjusters will do a tricky thing where they'll have fun. They'll just, hey, this is the best scenario I can give you. So you have a contractor who is going to retile a bathroom, and he tells you it's $3,000 to redo that shower, but the insurance company only gave you $1,500. And you go back to the insurance company, hey, look, my contractor wants $3,000. The insurance company say, oh, well, hey, you can see right here, we put tile walls. We paid you what you're owed. You're asking a contractor who charges too much. That's not true. Because when you write it that way in this program by the square footage, that means you're breaking it down by piece. Well, that means you need to put the bullnose in there, the niche, the corner shelf.
So what he says is you need an experienced
you
guy that's
need
gonna
that
take it-
information. Now
Right.
you're going to be over probably
Right.
$3,000.
And be able to cover everything.
And that's the same thing that goes with painting. You get a contractor that says to paint this room, it's $1,000. Well, I only got $500 from your insurance
Same
company.
scenario.
Same thing, because they just put paint the walls and ceilings. They show you they paid paint for walls and ceilings. Oh, but your contractor's charging for what they should be paying you for. Painting the base moldings, the crown, the door, all those little individual line items, they add up. Now you're at $1,000.
That makes sense. What were you going to say? I cut you off. That makes a lot of sense. And if you're not
That
experienced, you don't know.
information is
That's
what
key.
people
So-
don't know. That is what's on my website. I got full-blown estimates on
Love
it.
it.
So someone's at home right now working their 9 to 5, miserable in their job, and they're possibly thinking of doing their own thing as you've taken the leap as well. Well, what advice would you give to them to help them along that? Take that leap.
Take the leap of actually
Making
Going into business on
Yeah,
their
going
own.
into business for yourself.
that is I don't know. I think that's different for everybody. I gave up and quit a $175,000 a year job because my estimating was looking to be exploited. I created an integrity on Long Island with the adjusters that actually, when certain adjusters actually got the estimate, they knew it was for me. They didn't care about the PA. The PA wants me to write for them, but they want to know what did Mark Grossman say in his estimate, because I won't make up things and add things that are BS.
Yeah, I love it. I love that.
What can I give for advice? Know what you're getting into, because it's a tremendous amount of stress.
You know what I thought you would say talking to you? Be passionate. Be passionate in what you're doing.
I
Because
am.
here's a guy, from what I'm seeing, sitting with you, here's a guy that looked at the industry, knows it from top to bottom based on his experience, served our country, came back and said, I don't like the way the public is being treated here. This information should be readily available for them. You shouldn't be held hostage by a situation that's happening in your home. And knowledge will free you. And that's why you took the time to write this book. That's why the product is on your website, all this information. People can call you. How do we get a hold of you again?
516-807-6091 or claimhelpme.com, where you can get all this information. Eventually, I am working on an app because let's just face it, everyone out there, no one likes to read.
No, they like to listen.
They want to listen. So the app is going to, it's not anytime soon. So don't wait just for an app to
For now,
come
use
out.
the phone.
Or the website. It's going to tell you every single scenario. It's going to be me telling you in 30-second, 1-minute blurbs what to do here, what to do here. Should I do this? Should I not do this?
I love
And
it.
now this is going to end up helping contractors, estimators, so they get their stuff right. The biggest One that I actually had, and I can actually say this because it's true, was an Allstate claim where they would not budge on $168,000. We're talking clearly $450,000 to $550,000 loss. I went out there after months of them not budging at all, and I looked at it and I said, okay, I'll write it, and I'm only going to charge 5%. I don't. The public adjusters out there can charge 12.5%. In New York, 20% in Florida, which is ludicrous. But I'm at 5% no matter what the size claim it is. So I took it on. I told them it was going to be somewhere around 450 to 550. I wrote it. It was $425,000. I wrote the most scathing email to this adjuster using all the information that's in this guide and on my website. He called me while he was on vacation. I wrote it for $425. He met with me 3 days later. I gave him 2-week deadline, or I'm going to do one of 2 things, or 3 things. One, I'm going to file a complaint with the Department of Financial Services. By the way, this is all information you should all be taking down. Then I'm going to file a complaint with the Attorney General against your contractor, because any contractor would lose their company on what they wrote because they ghost wrote it. We don't need to get into any of that. And if they did it once, they did it 10 times before. Then once that happens, we'll go to appraisal. And once I'm awarded that, we're going to file another complaint against you. Now it's going to have merit. He ended up calling me from vacation, and we scheduled a meeting the following week. And he said, and I recorded it because not many people believe me when I tell him, he just said, this is the best estimate I've ever written. He approved it for $423,000.
I love it.
And the other stuff that they left out, they wanted to pay only $15,000 because the contractor didn't know what he was doing.
Right.
He was actually legitimately screwing himself. I wrote it properly. That $15,000 now out the window. I wrote it for $71,000. Because I couldn't prove equipment, which granted I couldn't because I don't have photos, I got him $66,000.
The bottom line is you'll put up the fight. You'll put
and
up
I
the
wasn't
fight,
paid
and
for
you're going to
that.
fight hard.
Right.
So we're going to run out of time, and BAB will hold me to that. So I would love to listen to you. I think you got a plethora, I'm going to use that again, of information. Please, homeowners, buy this book. Go to the website.
ClaimHelpMe.com.
I love it. Craig, take us home.
Well, for B2B with Randy and Craig, that's a wrap.